I'm going to take you back to my town, Newcastle. It's an industrial town in the north of England, and I was born mid-50s. So in the early 60s, as a child of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, what happened was they were into demolition and the destruction of the old houses. These houses were 100 years old, and they run down to the river. These old two-down houses, no sanitation, one tap to each house or yard. And the council decided they were going to wipe them out, and they were going to make new houses shiny new. At this time, industry was changing also, and we were getting into the first recession as the manufacturing base changed. So as kids, we were brought up in this environment which was being destroyed every day. And what that took away, it took away our community. So you'd go to school one day and all your little clique of mates, your little gangs, you go the next day and there'd be 2 or 3 missing. And this had an effect on people because our community was being taken away, destroyed, and each day there'd be flattened ground where there had been homes and communities. As they were demolishing these streets and towns, we were hungry as kids because our parents only ever earned enough money to get to the next week. So as kids, if we wanted any extra to eat, we had to find that for ourselves. So by the time we were 8, 9, 10-year-old, we knew how to find the treasure amongst the demolished buildings. And we'd seek out treasure, right, in the form of scrap metal, bits of copper, bits of lead, and we'd collect that and we would take it to the rag and bone men that came around the streets. When I look back at my plateau in life, I now realize I had some very, very simple lessons as an 8-year-old child. I was like all the other children, and I would collect the lead, the fool's gold, and the bits of copper wire. And I would spend hours and hours and hours collecting this stuff. We were like little black urchins, right? We were covered in this black soot off the buildings, and we were always getting in trouble at home. But we'd collect this stuff, and then we'd take it to the rag and bone man. And we'd collect all this stuff, and we knew roughly there would be a value on it of about 30 shillings, which was almost £1 million to a child. But the man that was buying it off us never had 30 shillings. We didn't have another market to sell into, so it was pointless what we were collecting. So we'd give him 30 shillings worth of material, and he would give us 1 shilling. And the reason for that was he only had 1 shilling. We had a super duper product, but we were selling it in the wrong market. So as a child, what I quickly realized was all my effort was going to the wrong place. So there was these other bits of scrap we could collect called window weights. Now with window weights, which was a counterbalance and the old sash windows, they had a fixed price of 2D each. 2D in old money in England. And if you had 6 of those, that equaled the shilling. Now 1 shilling was what I needed in my life to have my needs met. My critical needs as a child were very simple. I needed a tanner bottle of pop and a bag of sweets. And that was 6p each. So, rather than chasing the fool's gold, I made a change here, and I started collecting the stuff that had a fixed price, a fixed market, somewhere where I could sell it, and I got what I wanted every day. Now, even though I've got the goods that people want to buy, and I've got the market to sell into it, I have to learn another lesson. Because in the streets, I used to know the route of the horse and carts and the rag and bone men of where they would go. But because he only had 1 shilling, and I knew that, I realized I had to be first to market. So when the school bell went, I had to run to get from school to go home from my store of goods that the market wanted to buy, take the window weights out, run down to the bottom of the street, run 2 streets along, and get there before anyone else did. And if I wasn't there first, the shilling was gone, and I would end up with balloons. Balloons didn't feed me. So when I was 8 years old, I'd already worked this out, and this plateau, and this need to change the behavior. I was doing the same amount of work, but now I was getting paid the rate for the job.